Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us, and welcome to your favorite program, To The Point. Tonight, we're going to talk about the aviation. Open seas navigation using the astrolabe and compass started during the Age of Discovery in the 15th century. The Portuguese began systematically exploring the Atlantic coast of Africa from 1418 until the sponsorship of the Prince Henry. Portuguese expedition commanded by Vasco da Gama reached Indian Ocean by sailing around Africa, opening up the direct trade with Asia. Soon the Portuguese sailed further eastward to the Spice Islands in 1512, landing in China 1 year later.
Here on simulator bridge, we train the student how to deal with the ship in good weather, in rough seas, in heavy rain, in fog, in all conditions. How to deal in any other situation. And we train the student how to use all device here of the ship. The radar, the electronic chart, also the VHF. And the student, we train 2 students at one time, one in helmsman and one the captain. The captain gives the order to the helmsman to navigate through the water, navigate safely, how to indicate his position through the water at any time, also how to provide his assist to any other vessel needed assistance. Also, we train the student in each device, the radar, how to fix his position by radar, by GPS, also by the chart, marine chart. The student after graduation should serve several of hours to be first of all 3rd officer, then 2nd officer, and 1st officer. After that, he will be captain. The risk in navigation in bad weather, for example, in fog situation, that you cannot see, except you have to use the radar, and you will be suitable with how to use the radar, how to indicate all the targets all around of you, and which one of the vessel has the right way and which one is to give way. You have the ability to choose all kind of weather in one time, and all kind of situation between other vessel in one time, but in real time you cannot choose all these kind of weathers and situation in one time.
Welcome back, and you're still with us with KTV2, the program To The Point, and we are talking about aviation. And who else to talk about the best thing in the world, aviation? None other than we have Captain Mundir Al-Kandiri. Number one, he's a director of the Higher Institute for Telecommunications and Navigations, master degree in maritime transport technology, high diploma in education, diploma in management, bachelor degree in maritime science, overseas transport, of course, and also ATD, that's abbreviation for something really long.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, master trainer and internal mentor for Cambridge University, certified trainer from Campita.
Yes, exactly.
And last but not least, the distinguished guest we have, he's an instructor, Sulaiman Ashari. Good evening for both of you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Good evening, and it's nice to be with you on your program.
Pleasure to have you. Number one, let's talk about aviation in the world. How did it start, and what exactly that you have in nowadays, the challenges that you are going through day by day? Because it's not an easy thing, you know, to direct traffic in planes and also to be all the time up to date with technology.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the aviation, it will be with instructor Sulaiman Sali regarding the aviation. Okay.
Yeah, the aviation now is, the traffic is increasing. In the 50s, we have like 100 airplanes in the Gulf, in the flight.
Back
now,
in the 50s?
Yeah, the 50s. Now we have almost thousands. 1,000
airplanes in the skies.
In the skies,
oh.
Yes.
Now, how do you manage to control them and direct traffic?
That's the role of air traffic control.
Uh-huh.
Air traffic control, the system put to ensure there is no collisions and save air travel by separating the traffic from each other by safe distance.
Captain Munder, what about
Yes.
yourself? Brief us about the history of Higher Institute for Telecommunications and Navigation.
Yeah, it's a big history actually, because we established in 1966. The institute was named Training Institute for Wireless and Wire Telecommunication. In 1986, they merged the institute with the Aviation Institute, and after that it's named the Center of Telecommunication and Aviation. In 1993, the name is changed to the Institute of Navigation, the Telecommunication and Navigation. And in 2008, our institute became with this name, which is the Higher Institute of Telecommunication and Navigation. I mean, it's 50 years of graduates. During this 50 years, we graduate 23,000 trainee students in Kuwait, and they enroll with the work market. So if we divided, or according to the families in Kuwait, we have a single graduate in each 9 families in Kuwait. So it's a good statistics showing that's what the institute did during this 50 years.
Oh, a lot more than that is coming up later on. We'll talk about it, but let's go back to instructor Sulaiman Sali. To control the aviation, to control the pilot, to control the plane itself, it takes lots of energy. It takes a teamwork.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is the most stressful job in the world. The controller is responsible from the start of flight to the end of the flight. Start from the beginning, starting the engine, the pilot requests the controller the permission to start, and then request a pushback. The aircraft, the controller sees for the pilot, instead of he sees for him, and after pushback, he gives permission to taxi to the runway. He guided the airplane to the runway, and after that, he gives permission and organize between landing and takeoff aircraft. And then afterward, the next phase, he transferred to the approach controller, which sits in the radar, and handle the aircraft until a certain level. Then after that, he handed to the center, Kuwait Center control. And that afterward, the center Kuwait handed to the adjacent countries.
Now, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but Captain Munder, we have a simulation. This is for a trainee before they take over the control room and not only navigate, you know, to control traffic in the air. Could you take us through exactly what's on the air? This is a simulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, actually, is the ATC simulator, which is belong to instructor Sulaiman Sali, so he can give you a good brief regarding the ATC, the air traffic controller simulator.
Yeah, we see here the airplane about to take off now.
Now he's going to show something on the air. He wants us to be silent.
Going off to its destination, Amsterdam. Now the air traffic controller gave him the clearance for takeoff. He's entering the runway and about to roll.
Traffic controller, he controls the movement of the aircrafts, and he assures to make an expeditiously safe air traffic movement. Okay, First of all, the air traffic system starts for the departing aircraft, starts with a delivery. The aircraft or the pilot takes the delivery, the ATC clearance, takes it from the delivery frequency. Okay, and after that he switches over to ground frequency for movement clearances. Okay, he takes first of all, when he is ready, he takes the pushback and startup clearance. After he takes the pushback and startup clearance, he will take the taxi clearance, which the controller gives him as he sees fits, to which runway, on which taxiway. Okay, and when the aircraft gets to the holding point of the runway, here the pilot asks a clearance for takeoff. Depends on the air traffic controller of what he sees fit. He might give him the takeoff clearance, or he might let him stand by if there's an inbound aircraft, or if there is nothing, then he would give him the takeoff clearance to which destination, not the destination, the first waypoint of him. The pilot takes the instructions from the controller. Any movement instructions or takeoff clearance or landing clearance, otherwise all of them, he takes it from the controller. Also the ATC clearance, he takes it from the controller. I chose to join this institute because I have a passion and I love aviation. I myself enjoy aviation since I was a child. I had a passion that I wanted to be an air traffic controller since I was a child. And then I followed my passion, following entering here the institute, the High Institute of Telecommunication and Navigation.
I joined air traffic management I like that it has a big responsibility to control aircrafts while flying, either on ground, gives clearance for takeoff, landing clearance, taxi clearance, and while flight.
Back to Captain Munder Al-Kandri. Why exactly you train people indoors, and what exactly you have the impression when you get them inside indoors and you have simulations of, you know, thunder and rain and probably sandstorm and etc. How do you insert all the weather inside these simulations?
Actually, in the beginning, the training was we face very difficulties to transfer our trainee student to the airport environment or to the seaport environment. You know, you need a clearance from different authorities and so on. So the new trend in training now, they are looking for the interactive environment in training. That's why we have the biggest simulator complex in the not in the area, actually in the world, because we have both the aviation and the maritime simulators, which is in the same area. Usually you find the marine simulator separately, and you will find the aviation simulator also it's alone with aviation colleges. So we are the only training and education authority which have both simulators in the same area. That's why I said we have the biggest complex in the world. Nowadays, the training, it's not dealing with theoretical. Now we are dealing with practical, and practical, that's mean we need to put our trainee student under different circumstances which he can't face it during his actual work. In the training now, we are doing scenarios, how he deal with emergency situation, how we deal with collision situations. So we put him under different circumstances to find out his reaction. As soon as he trained on these situations and these scenarios, so at work he will not face a big problem because he get familiar with the situations. He know what his reaction and immediate reaction.
Okay, I want to bring in instructor Sulaiman Saleh because I want you to hold this thought, because he graduated from the same institute that you're talking about.
Yes.
You started your academic study at this institute.
Yes.
Now, after probably several years, something must have happened from this institute to provide to the aviation in the state of Kuwait. What exactly this institute provided the aviation in the state of Kuwait?
Since 87, we provided the civil aviation staff from controller, flight operation, facilitators, safety, airport safety officers. We trained all this since 1987. We provide this, and also we brought the new equipment. Now we're gonna bring next September Airbus 320 simulator, so to complete the whole aviation complex.
Now it looks familiar to you because you see this is the traffic on top of the UK.
Yes.
This is the England.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, and it's kind of a little bit busy.
Yes.
But to you, it doesn't bother you, busy or not. This is your job. You know
Yes.
exactly how to handle it, correct?
Yes, correct, yes. Actually, the sectors, they divided each airspace into sectors. Each control deal with a sector.
Sectors.
Yeah, and then transfer the
You
aircraft.
divide the whole area by sectors.
By sector.
Sector 1, Sector 3,
Yes,
Sector 4.
Yes.
Okay.
And they coordinate, each control with the other control to transfer the aircraft. The control job is very difficult job. His job is saying only, but he has to make a clever decision to direct the aircraft into the right track.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Captain Munder, you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier that you're talking about the controller after he graduates. Either he goes, finish the bachelor degree, or probably he can be content and go work for the controller people like your buddy over here.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you always put these people under pressure.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, to make them familiar with the conditions of the weather, or you mentioned something about collision and something like that.
Yeah.
Have you had any difficulties with them
During the training, you
during
mean?
the training and after?
Yeah. We don't face any problem because we are. The training is concentrate on doing the exercise more and more, do it again and do it one more, and so in this case he will be more familiar with his reaction. Facing difficulties, there is no difficulties because our trainee student, he know that he's doing his job not in actual environment but in something like the realistics. So that's why he will feel under pressure because he need to succeed, and at the same time he doing the job correctly according to the the maritime and aviation standard requirements. That's why.
That's wonderful. We have a report that these students they were under your supervision in your institute regarding Navy and probably SAIL, something like that. Let's
Yes.
watch it and come back.
Okay.
I joined the institute because I wanted to be an officer of the watch and export and import goods from my country. The process starts by us learning the basics of navigation, whether it's coastal navigation or celestial navigation, and we use them in our field of work, whether it's driving a vessel or by plane.
I have been always dreaming to be a third officer of the watch and to improve my ability by joining this institute of the navigation systems and maritime. When we finish our studies, we will be able to sail through the high seas in any weather, such as storms or good weather or bad weather.
Now, I have something brought to my attention that you have a golden jubilee.
Yes, exactly.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is actually, it will be between 1st and 3rd of May, next May. In this jubilee we have 4 events. The first event, it will be the second conference on the telecommunication second conference. The other event, it will be exhibition on the future needs of the work market. And we will invite many, around 25 ministries and companies, which gonna show our trainee students the opportunities for them specification in the work market. We have as well with Injaz, it's a non-profit organization. We're gonna arrange a workshop for our trainees. It starts already from this week, and it will continuously for 4 weeks. It's like a workshop. It's steered to our career for the trainee student. We took around 80 trainee students from graduate students, and they enroll in the workshop to find out how they will doing them CVs, how they gonna deal with the work and the work environment, how it's look like. So, and the 4th event, it will be business leaders. We're gonna invite our graduate student, which they are now manager in the work market. We have the director of marine firefighting in Kuwait. He's one of our graduate students. Yes, and we have also the aviation and the air navigation, or the aviation department. The head, the director of this department, he's already one of our graduate students. So the institute will provide the work market with high management level now, our graduate student. So they will introduce them experience for our trainee student. They will motivate them how they can be directors and leaders in the future. So this is our Jubilee events. It will be
Golden Jubilee.
Yes, exactly, 50 years.
Are we invited?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Now, Instructor Slaman Heli, since you are an instructor, you're a trainer, you're a coach, you know exactly how it feels if somebody in the control room, they call it controller, correct?
Yes, control.
Like they are facing a storm, a huge storm, maybe sandstorm, maybe thunderstorm,
Yes,
something like that.
The worst is thunderstorm.
Okay,
Thunderstorm
now
is the worst.
how the instructor, you can, make it familiarize himself with these conditions, the people who are working the control?
Yeah, we have the simulator, we have the ability to create thunderstorms and how to guide the aircraft through the thunderstorm. The thunderstorm is considered the most dangerous weather phenomenon for aviation. Many accidents happen because of thunderstorms.
Is it worse on land or sea? Which one is worse?
Even in sea, thunderstorms considered dangerous,
Yeah.
very dangerous.
At sea, you find, let's assume that the height of the wave, it will be around 45 meters. So yeah,
way too high.
Yeah, exactly. It's really high, and we have a scale for the rough sea, start from force 1 to force 9. And you can't imagine that during the tough and the rough sea, how it's going on with our ship. The ship, it's really become nothing at sea while there is a heavy sea and a heavy wave.
Which one is worse for you? Is it on land or sea? As an instructor?
Thunderstorm?
Yes.
Sea.
Sea is worse.
Yes,
Yeah.
worse.
Because
of the
as
waves.
Captain Munder mentioned that the wave is what?
Yeah.
It's about 45 meter high?
Yes.
Yes.
That's way too high.
And
Yes.
in aviation, if an aircraft goes into thunderstorm, it will face currents, up and down currents, might break the wings inside the thunderstorm. So it's very dangerous for aviation and sea.
Yes. Yeah.
Captain Munder, final word from you?
I'd like to thank Kuwait TV, Channel 2, and your program regarding introduce us to just show our institute, the achievement of our institute, the future trend for our higher institute for telecommunication and navigation, because we are the only education and training body which provide the work market with specification in wireless and wired telecommunication and aviation and navigation as well.
At the end, we would like to thank Captain Mundhir Al-Kandari, the Director of Higher Institute of Telecommunications and Navigations, Master Degree in Maritime Transport Technology, and a lot more. And also the instructor, Sleiman and Sally. Always a pleasure to have you. Promise us to come back again.
Yeah, sure. Our pleasure. Thank you.
very much.
And thanks for the viewers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're still with us here to the point. Join us after this brief message.
لقد كان البحر أحد مصادر الرزق للكويت قديما، حيث لعب الأسطول التجاري البحري دورا فاعلا في تأسيس نواة الاقتصاد الوطني، ممثلا بالحركة التجارية بين الكويت ومختلف موانئ منطقة الخليج العربي والهند وسواحل شرق إفريقيا. وقد استمر هذا الإرث إلى يومنا هذا، ممثلا بشركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية. تم تأسيس شركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية في عام 1957 على يد مجموعة من التجار الكويتيين، وفي عام 1979 قامت الحكومة بشراء رأس مال الشركة بالكامل، إيمانا منها بأهمية النقل البحري لدولة الكويت. وفي عام 1980 حين أنشئت مؤسسة البترول الكويتية، اطلعت شركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية بمسؤولية قطاع النقل لدولة الكويت ومؤسسة البترول الكويتية. ومنذ ذلك الحين أصبحت شركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية هي ذراع النقل البحري الاستراتيجي الأوحد لدولة الكويت ومؤسسة البترول الكويتية، وذلك لنقل النفط الخام الكويتي والمشتقات الهيدروكربونية. وتعتبر الشركة الوسيلة الرئيسية لنقل النفط الخام الكويتي، والذي هو بمثابة شريان الحياة للدولة، حيث لا توجد هناك أي منافذ أخرى لتصدير النفط سوى البحر. لعبت الشركة دورا استراتيجيا مهما، خصوصا في فترات الأزمات والظروف التي شهدتها المنطقة، حيث قام الأسطول الوطني بنقل النفط الكويتي من الكويت إلى موانئ العالم، في حين امتنع العديد من ملاك السفن العالميين من دخول منطقة الخليج العربي للتحميل. وتعتبر شركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية اليوم هي أحد أكبر الشركات البحرية والمصنفة عالميا بما يتعلق بحداثة الأسطول وكفاءة التشغيل، حيث تتمتع شركة ناقلات النفط الكويتية بأعلى درجات الأمن والسلامة والمحافظة على البيئة، وذلك لضمان سلامة الإمدادات لزبائن الدولة والمؤسسة، وخصوصا في ظل تصاعد التوترات السياسية وعمليات القرصنة البحرية، حيث تم تزويد الأسطول الوطني بكافة سبل الأمن والسلامة والحماية، وذلك لردع أي محاولة قرصنة للناقلة أثناء إبحارها في البحر.
In 1488, Puerto Limo Diaz reached the Indian Ocean by this route. In 1492, the Spanish monarchs funded Christopher Columbus' expedition to sail west to reach the Indians by crossing the Atlantic, which resulted in the discovery of America. That's why we are still here at To The Point. With us here, Captain Adil ALSAYED. Welcome to the stadium, to our studio and to the program. And you are Superintendent Fleet Operations. correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Captain, for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
We were talking at the first segment about aviation. We're still talking about the same thing, but we are going to go deeper, not only in the air or in the sea, on the land, but we're going to talk about the fleet that you represent. Tell us about the fleet that you represent right here.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, our company, they got variety of type of ships, or we can go say vessels. We got three type. We have a VLCC tankers.
You mean company, the Petroleum Corporation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We are all is oil and LPG gas. So we are running 12 VLCC, which they are very large crude carrier, which about 2 million barrels each
2
vessel.
million barrels.
2 million barrels each vessel.
Each vessel.
Yes.
That's a huge cargo.
A huge.
I know.
Huge amount.
That's why I want to know the difference between the oil tanker and also the gas tanker and also oil native material tanker. What is the difference when we're talking about these tankers?
There is 3 tankers, or actually there are
More
4
than that.
tankers.
4.
Okay.
Okay, let's be more specific.
More
Tanker
specific,
number 1?
We will go from the beginning as crude oil.
Crude oil.
Which come from the soil through the refinery.
Okay.
This is a crude oil is not being liquefied or not being produced during the refinery.
It's not?
Not.
Okay.
So it's only clean little bit, modified and exported.
Exported, put it in a barrel, seal it?
Not the barrels. No, it's all by pipelines. There's no barrels.
Ah.
The barrels is the unit of calculation.
It's different.
Yes.
Now you have the crude oil. It's
all in
transferred
the
from
tanks.
the land all the way to the tanker by pipes.
Pipes from the land to the refinery, and from the refinery to the vessel.
The vessel.
The vessel, yes.
And goes to all over the world.
Go all over the world. The vessel is designed within tanks in between.
What about the other vessel? What about the other tanker?
The other tanker, we come to the products, which the
okay.
product tankers, which you have, which we talk about the aviation. So there is a fuel for the aviations, Jet A1, which also is coming from the refinery from this crude oil in the end.
Okay, what about, let's talk about the captain of the vessel himself. Now, what exactly you have to go through procedures to become a captain?
It's a very, very long procedures.
Okay.
And the process, actually. You started after graduation from high school, joining a Marine Academy for about a period about 4 years. During this period, you should do actual training on board merchant vessels. It's not necessary to be a tanker, can be a cargo vessel, can be a container, can be any type of ship. But is the mean of this service is to gain the experience and to gain the knowledge of a sea, of the sea, and how is the ship actually working. You learn, then you go back to the college, do the examinations, and graduated as a first level as a watch keeping officer, second mate officers.
Okay. Now, how do you navigate at the sea, and what kind of equipment that you have on board the vessel itself?
The vessel is equipped with a lot of equipment. As you see, the technology is improving. Also, the navigation equipment is improving. First of all, we don't call it as a navigation equipment.
It's not. You call it something else.
Before, in 60s and 40s, they call it as a navigation equipment because it's help the navigator to navigate. But during the malfunctioning of this equipment, they found they can cause a disaster to the navigator. So they called it as an aids to navigation. It's helping you to navigate, but it's not a navigation equipment.
It's not.
It's aids to navigations. The correct.
That's why I want to know what is the difference between, you know, a big vessel or a small vessel, or probably a big tanker or medium size of tankers. What kind of equipments we're talking about on board. You mentioned something really critical, that it's not navigation, but it helps you to navigate.
That's correct.
Now, what is the difference between it's not navigation, but it's it helping you to navigate?
So the navigation, you learn it all the basic and theoretically at the college, on the charts, on the celestial navigation and everything. So all the machine actually, like a GPS or the radar or the EGDIS, the electronic chart display unit, it's actually doing your job but faster.
Faster.
So it's calculating your positions.
But okay, in case of a storm,
Yes.
you said something that these are not equipment to navigate, but they help you to navigate.
That's correct.
Now, how do you, like a ship, like the captain, keep on board a crew and the cargo safe when you go through a thunderstorm or probably a sandstorm or something like that?
There is always part of the navigation equipment or the aids of navigation of equipment. There is a fax mile, weather reports, softwares. They all give you weather broadcast for next 3 days, 4 days. So usually if there is a storm, start building, you will see it on the weather report ahead. So it's part of the master or the captain of the ship for the safety is to calculate the track of this storm, where it's heading, so he can navigate. Each storm, they got two parts. It's around one half, they call it a safe navigation part, and the second half, they call it the danger part. So the master or the captain of the ship, he needs to know which part he's going to fall during his vessel navigating. Otherwise, if he fall in the wrong direction, can the storm kill him?
Also, the captain, when he sails the vessel, he's not driving a car on a highway. It's not straight.
That's correct.
You have a shallow water and you have a deep water.
That's correct.
It's just like, you know, the terrain in the desert. You have high mountains and low mountains, and you have, you know, valleys and stuff like that. Now, how do you navigate yourself, and how do you sail through the vessel safely? You must have some kind of equipment to find the depth inside the water.
There is equipment and there is a charts. All the navigation chart is charted for the depth and being surveyed. Before the vessel depart from the port, they must prepare the passage plan. The passage plan, to make it, you need a lot of data. The data you need to insert on the chart, like the depth of the vessel. Okay, if my vessel depth under the water level is about 20 meters, so when I draw the course on the chart, it should not be below 25 or 30 meters. It depends on each company policy for the under key clearance. So they need to know how much the depth, the weather reports, if there is any storms, so I can divert my my course on the chart. If there is any military naval exercise, they're going to boundary the area. So I don't need to go because it's a warning area, so I need to divert my course. All this information is collected, and also another information, the navigating officer collected all, he put it in the chart and discuss it with the captain. Then the captain give his final decision if this course from point A to point B is safe to navigate or not. If he doubted, he's going to change it immediately. Plus, you have, as I mentioned...
But you still connect yourself with headquarters. You tell him day by day,
course.
Step by step.
Of course, because we give him all the navigating officer what we need to proceed from A to B.
Piracy.
Yes.
It's everywhere. Not on land, it's in sea, and it's in the air everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you go through it like every once in a while, like, you know, you hear it on the news or you read about it, that there has been a piracy in the Indian Ocean or probably somewhere else. Now, to avoid these kind of, you know, dangerous points in the seas or the oceans, what exactly do you do to have a get yourself warned before you go inside these territories?
This piracy area, actually the piracy started, the Somalian piracy and the Indian Oceans.
Yes.
Affected all the world, and everybody jumped after they hijacked the Villa vessel in 2008 November, Serious Stars, and this ship was a VLCC, very large crude carrier, fully loaded cargo. We're talking here about roughly about 600 to 800 million dollar. Okay, so they found the ships, the Somalian buyer, they found the ships is easy fish to catch and ask for ransom.
Yes.
So they start going deeper, deeper, deeper until they reached to the Indian coast.
Ocean.
So from Somalian part in the Africa to the Indian in Asia, they covered all the part of the sea. So any vessels coming from Far East going to Europe or Middle East or American, they have to pass this part. So it's become a business. Each companies, they start doing preparations, organization established, warnings, any attack, vessels advising each others, they relay the distress. There is also a rescue coordinators, give all the ships free information if there is any attacks, collision warships, the American, the Japanese, the British, a lot of countries, they participate freely without any cost to protect the shipping lanes from attack, because also it's affecting, once the ship's been attacked, the country will be affected, the product will not reach to the destinations.
Oh, that's worse. One final question, if I may. Lots of difficulties and challenges it may face the captain himself, not only the crew, the captain, to make a decisive decision. What are these things that we're talking about?
Always we have a lot of difficulties because
it's not going to be a smooth sailing.
Sea life always a difficult,
It's
tough.
not smooth sailing.
Because you are controlling, for example, you have about 25 to 30 crew member on board, different nationalities you are dealing with. As we discussed, the storms, always the problem. Also, the other thing is when you have somebody sick and you need to divert your course and you need to off-land him to the shore for a medical treatment, especially when they have appendix, they have bleeding, they have, so you'll get worried as a captain. So you divert your course to the nearest land, ask for the Coast Guard choppers to pick him up. So this is the mostly issues it's happening.
That's a common thing to happen every once in a while.
Everybody.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for being
You're
with us.
welcome. You're welcome.
We would like to thank Captain Adil Al-Slayhem, and he is the Superintendent Fleet Operation at the subsidiary of Kuwait Petroleum Corporation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of the program for this evening To The Point. We hope for you to join us once again next Wednesday at same o'clock, 8 o'clock, and maybe more specific, 8:15, right here on KTV2. Until then, keep on watching KTV2. Good night and bye-bye.